Hey guys, it's Dorian. So, a couple things. I just want to apologize first for the lack of content lately. As you can probably tell from my voice in the last couple of videos, I was really, really sick. For like 2 weeks, I had a chest infection and then it turned into a throat infection, and I was really not doing well, but feeling better now. Not quite 100%, but anyways, I thought I'd do a quick little vlog. Um, I also have a few other videos coming up that I'll talk about later. What's new? So I've updated a couple of things, and this is all things that are going to be in Scion 18.2, which is going to be on the source forge. I'm also going to talk about my website in a moment. So I've tested a couple of things. One being not on this one. This is a virtual machine, obviously, just so that I could show you the login screen. I changed the background to something a little nicer, but you can always change it yourself. Anyways, I installed some language packs. Turkish and German and a couple other ones, and tried selecting them and logging in, and it worked. So that was good. I also changed the default login from that little devil to the Scion logo because it's a little more appropriate. That's also something that you can change yourself. And yeah, again, more blurry backgrounds. I did really like the other ones, but they're still here, so you can always change them back if you want to. So some changes in the control panel. Because this is a virtual machine, the options automatically hide, but there's the brightness control and the option to disable the mouse pad on a laptop, which I really like, and I think a lot of people like as well. And it's all temporary. I will make this look nicer. And I added this button to start the system updater, which I call Iron. So if you click on that, it'll let you know that it's a very early version. And then it runs up here in the system tray. And it'll let you know if you have any updates. You can right click on it and manually check, or you can just leave it and it'll let you know if there's any updates or not on its own. Seems to be locked up. Oh, I know what's happening. I use my own repo, and it takes a long time for it to initially connect to it. So it will connect in a second. This won't happen for you. This just happens for me. Even though it takes longer to connect to the local repo at first, in the end, the downloads are super fast. There you go. So that won't happen to you. It's just because even if I do an apt-get update, it takes a long time to get going. If you want to do that yourself, I have another video on setting up your own repo. Very handy, especially if you do huge installations. But anyways, so it's set to automatically check every 10 minutes for now. You click check now, and it'll tell you it's checking again. And of course, if there are any updates, you can just right click, say install now, and then it'll prompt you for your password. System's up to date. So yeah, if you do install now, it'll prompt you for your password and install the updates for you. Another thing I did was change this button. It used to be the Thunar options for removable devices, which I think isn't really necessary. And I actually removed Thunar altogether. I'm going to stick with PCMan FM because it does a good job and it's really lightweight. Could change again in the future. We'll see what everybody thinks. But you can always add it yourself back in if you prefer Thunar and use that, or Nautilus or Dolphin or whatever you want. Totally up to you. And so I got rid of that and I added a keyboard layout application. If you're using Scion right now, 18.1.1, you'll have to install LX Keymap yourself. And that you can install in the Synaptic Package Manager or via the terminal. And this lets you, it's just a GUI for changing your keyboard layout, which I think every distro really needs. So we've got that. And then I've added the little version number in the corner just because. I've also, not on this version that you're looking at now, but I've made the icons even smaller to make this a little more compact and better for low resolution screens. So I've had a couple of, let me just get out of here. I've had a couple of surprise reviews already. If you follow me on Twitter, Sneaky Linux did a review on YouTube. And so yeah, Sneaky Linux did a little review, and My World Linux did a little review. I was kind of shocked to see those pop up, but it's pretty cool. And I guess it's showed up already on DistroWatch. So if you go to the DistroWatch weekly page, you can vote to have Scion Linux bumped up to be added sooner. But right now, it's still testing, right? I did a bunch of code cleanup. I was using Genie, so like just this, on my netbook in bed when I was sick. So I wasn't using PyCharm. I was just kind of typing away feverishly, and so I of course, had to do a lot of code cleanup afterwards, which is done now, and it's up to date. If you go to the SourceForge page, which I'll put in the link of this video, there's a changelog. So if you're on the first page when you first get there, changelog is available here. It's actually in the wiki section, and it's just keeping track of what I'm changing for the Scion CP package. I'm going to be adding another package. It's going to be a meta package, and this will be for Scion 18.2, which is codenamed Mercury. And it's going to be a few weeks. I want to make sure it's good to go. I will try to have a proper installer, so hopefully it'll be a smaller ISO to download. Not going to guarantee that because I've played with it before, and when I really start customizing, sometimes it doesn't go right, but we'll see what happens. 18.2 will be out anyways within a few weeks, and it's going to include, like I said, a meta package. So this meta package is for extra software. So if you guys have Scion installed already and you do an update, you'll get the new control panel, but this button won't do anything because you haven't installed this. Well, with the meta package added, I can update the dependencies for that meta package, which will install other software. So as I add things, add features and whatnot, I can actually add software to distributions with just a system update instead of re-downloading and reinstalling. So that'll be a lot better. Other things, I've updated some information on kernels. Scion 18.1.1 uses kernel 4.4.0-112. It has the Spectre and Meltdown patches already applied, so it's already safe. It's already good to go. You don't have to do anything there. In Mercury, I'm going to change up to 4.13. So this will support newer hardware and might run a little better. I was looking at 4.16 RC1, which is coming out, which is going to have the VirtualBox video drivers mainlined into it, which would be cool to run on virtual machines. But that's getting ahead of myself. Right now, I'm going to use 4.13.0-32 because it also has the Spectre and Meltdown vulnerability patches, and that will be included. So yeah, other than that, I'm getting pretty busy with maintaining this and trying to have a nice central place. I need to get a website up and going, and I'm looking at doing that very soon because right now it's just SourceForge for now, really, and YouTube and my Twitter. That's not really where I want to be with it, especially considering I've had 253 downloads just this week. Now, some of it is from the Scion software, but if we go into here and check this. 310 downloads of Scion Linux so far, which is about 300 more than I was expecting, so that's awesome. And if you go on DistroWatch, I saw right here, new distributions, Scion Linux and Pixel OS. So yeah, right here, distributions added to the waiting list, so that's pretty cool. They've picked that up. And if you click on it, though, you see it comes to the SourceForge page. So it would be cool to have my own page, even though it's very basic. And then I can add a forum, and I can add what's here, but I can make it look like how I want and not have all this other extra stuff and limit it to how many screenshots, and I can make it how I want it. But anyways, yeah. Next videos, I still have Revenge OS, MX Linux, MX17, and Nitrous Linux coming up. And those are reviews still in the works. I've been playing with them and jotting things down and whatnot. Yeah, Nitrux. So MX17 Nitrux Revenge OS is coming out. I'm also going to be doing a video on a couple of little things, like if you go into here, if you're setting up your own distro, you click on something that requires your password, you get the policy kit come up and ask you for the password. So just how to set that up, it's really not hard. It's just install it, but there's a couple of things that you can change, like for the updater, for instance, you can have it allow or disallow specific things, and I'll get into that after, but I want to get a review down first. And I also added, it doesn't work in the virtual machine, I didn't set it up, but I'm not sure if I'll keep it, but in the top left corner here, this little applications launcher, I don't know why it doesn't work in the virtual machine, but it works on hardware. I think it has to do with the fact that the right control is the hotkey for the virtual machine. I don't know. I still have to play with that. But anyways, that's what I've got right now. And there's more coming up. I've been a little bit busy, but there's more coming. All right. I'll put some links in the description for my SourceForge page, and I'll put links to the other videos too that reviewed just for kicks, and of course a link to my Patreon page and to my Twitter, so you can follow me over on Twitter as well. And if you like what you see and you feel like supporting me on Patreon, you could do that as well. I've got some costs coming up with some higher, better, non-free repo hosting, as well as a domain and website that I'm going to be putting up that needs hosting. So it's not going to be only Scion. There's going to be a lot of Linux, generic Linux stuff as well, and how-tos. The Scion stuff's just keeping me a little busy at the moment. It's blown up a little more than I expected. So yeah, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and until next time, bash on.